All right. We have everybody on board, Keith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, everyone. It is 7:28 p.m. It's February 9th, 2021. This is our first scheduled meeting of the Bridgeport Borough Council for the month of February. Folks, welcome to the meeting. If everyone could please pledge the flag with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
for which it stands, one
one
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, folks. And Angela, roll call, please.
Corey Scott.
Here.
James Fee.
Here.
Randy Bennett.
Here.
Megan Nolan.
Here.
Diane Gundrum. Here. Tony Heil.
Here.
Kyle Shank.
Here. All right, that is everyone accounted for. Thank you, Angela. Folks, I will say for the record, council was an executive session from 7 o'clock until about 7:27, just discussing some legal matters. Moving forward, before we start with the official business of the agenda, everyone watching, I'm sure you saw in the news on February 1st, Officer Steve Sabo passed. Officer Sabo was a longtime resident of Bridgeport. He was also a longtime officer and served with the Bridgeport Police Department. Officer Sabo passed after a lengthy battle with ALS, but we all thank him for his service. He'll be remembered in town for his dedication to his family while he was here and his community, and obviously his brothers and sisters on the police force. We all owe Officer Sabo a debt of gratitude for the time that he spent in service to the town, and we owe his family for their dedication to Officer Sabo as well as the community. So if everybody could just take a moment, please, to bow your heads and observe a moment of silence. And thank you for that, everyone. And Chief, and thank you. I know you and the Bridgeport Police were there for the motorcade and the service over the weekend. And I'm sure that was well appreciated by the family, and it certainly was by the community.
Yes.
All right. So moving forward, Mr. Truman.
Thank you, President Schenk. Good evening, everybody. First up, for council consideration, a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from the January 26th, 2021 meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Scott, seconded by Ms. Nolan, to adopt the meeting minutes from January 26th. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda, excuse me, for council consideration, renewal of the license agreement with Growing Bridgeport Together to allow or afford Growing Bridgeport Together the ability to use borough space. In this case, for this year, it would be the Borough Hall parking lot located at 63 West 4th Street to conduct the varying community events that Growing Bridgeport Together typically does, namely Twilight on the River and some other potential one-off market events later on this year in the fall and winter months. Obviously, we are still in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. As the vaccinations continue to roll out and increase in both variety and volume, it's everybody's, I think, consensus or collective hope that we can continue crawling our way back to some semblance of normality. And I believe that holding community events is certainly a good step in that direction. I know that Mr. and Mrs. Gundrum, who head up the Growing Bridgeport Together organization, as well as their committee members, have been discussing for quite some time over the last many months how to implement the proper safeguards and put them into place. I know that some of the members of that committee are vendors at other markets, both indoor and outdoor, throughout the southeastern PA region, and are able to bring that information and feedback, both good and bad, from those events to bring into application for events in Bridgeport. I don't believe that we should have any major apprehension in opting to try to return to a situation where Bridgeport is able to offer its residents some community activities and events. And as I had already said, I think renewing this license agreement and allowing Growing Bridgeport Together to use the Borough Hall parking lot for those events is a positive step in the right direction.
Before we go to vote, I will be recusing myself from this since I'm on the board of Growing Bridgeport Together.
I will make the motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Ms. Nolan, seconded by Mr. Heil, to renew the license agreement with Growing Bridgeport Together. Any additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes with 6 votes, and we do have 1 abstention from Councilwoman Gundrum. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And next up on the agenda, for council consideration, authorization to advertise ordinance 2021-1, amending chapter 72 of the Bridgeport Borough Code, section being pensions. Members of council, this is a housekeeping measure, so to speak. There was, after our most recent pension audit from the Pennsylvania Auditor General's office, there was a recommendation on clearing up some what could be perceived as ambiguity in one of the languages, or excuse me, in the language in one of the clauses under plan participation. And so this is merely taking that step to take the feedback into consideration and rectify the problem.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I heard a motion there. Was that from Ms. Gundrum?
Yes.
It was seconded by Mr. Scott to go ahead and authorize the advertising of ordinance 2021-001, amending chapter 72 of Bridgeport Borough Code, the pension code. Do we have any additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you all. Next up, unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business that any members of council wish to discuss? All right, seeing none. Committee reports. Are there any committee reports to share this evening? Very well. Moving forward to the mayor's report. Mayor Barbie, sir.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Barbie. Moving forward to the chief's report. Chief Beretta.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Schenk, for bringing up about retired Officer Stephen Sabo. It was a somber event, but it was well attended by law enforcement. We were able to give him as much of the due honors as we could possibly do, to include a police presence and a motorcade for the family, back and forth from the residence to the church and to the cemetery. So thank you for allowing us to render him all due honors for his 30 years of service. The storm, we recently had some rather significant storm actions Just to remind some folks, I know I've gotten some phone calls and we've talked about it. If it's over 12 inches, we have 48 hours to clear your sidewalks. If it's under 12 inches, you have 24 hours, and there's specific borough code elements that speak to not putting obstacles, whether they be chairs, other kind of furniture, things like that, to try to reserve spots on borough streets. As we're well aware that there are no assigned parking. Our residences that have only off-street parking have their off-street parking, but there's no assigned on-street parking for the normal residences in the borough streets. Please be mindful of this. That being said, there's still courtesy. Work with each other. We all have people that are elderly or infirm. Help each other out on these sidewalks. You may be bumping into some police officers, either removing furniture or asking people to have some sort of contact or do some clearing along with both code enforcement officials. Please be respectful of that and your neighbors so that we can get through this. We have some more potential snowfall coming between Thursday and Sunday. They don't expect large accumulations, but if we could be mindful of all of our friends and neighbors there to keep it clear within 24 hours after the cessation of snowfall, we'd appreciate it. The school zone. We had a sign blitz out there to remind everybody that school's back in session, the kids are there, and there's new traffic patterns out there. It was a little difficult in the first few days, this coming back another week. There might still be some hiccups, but I'd ask you to please follow and comply with the rules for Bridgeport Elementary School for the two different drop-off and pick-off points. This can aid the streets by being kept safer for our children to travel. And when they're being picked up, if we have traffic congestion, that means there's low visibility, and that's not helpful or safe for other people. Please be mindful of the crossing guards on Ford Street, especially. Keep your speeds down. Remind your neighbors that the school's in session. You'll soon be finding that there's going to be some new signage up in the school zone area on Ford Street with increased LED flashing lights, replacing some of the old lights, and some new signage as a warning. So thank you for that and for that attention. We had a DUI details around the Super Bowl. So there was enforcement there, and you'll be seeing some additional enforcement with our partnerships with the Pennsylvania State Police, running speed details on our major roadways on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of February. So you might see more blue and red lights on. We're just asking for compliance. If you do see the blue and red lights on, is a requirement to vacate the lane directly adjacent to that stop to keep it safe for the police officers. They're going to be conducting these activities. The railroad crossing project was supposed to start on the 8th. I know with the snow emergencies, that was probably a hiccup, but be on the lookout for that to begin and continue on the Norfolk Southern railroad crossings, starting at Mill Street, Depot Street, and then Ford Street. So that should be coming. And as far as the COVID goes, they're in the 1A stage for some emergency responders locally, but you can expect in the region, it might be easier for you to sign up those people 65 or older and those with underlying health issues. It may be easier for you currently if you're in those codes to go to a Walgreens in Philadelphia or likewise in the region. But know that it's going to be coming to Montgomery County shortly, and that people should be able to start to get the vaccine. If you do have any questions, though, besides looking and talking to your friends, the phone number to the Pennsylvania Department of Health for the COVID vaccination, that number is 877-724-3258. And it has a bunch of good information on there for you. So that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you. Stay safe, and please be kind and mindful of your neighbors during these snow emergencies.
Thank you, Chief Beretta. Moving forward to new business. Are there any members of council with new business to share this evening? Very well. Moving on to open forum and announcements. And I do have one announcement I would like to make on behalf of Bridgeport Little League. Bridgeport Little League wishes to remind parents and players that registration for the 2021 season is still open. There are 2 more in-person open registration events to be held, February 20th and 27th. Both of those are Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Memorial Park concession stand. Those who attend the in-person registration events will receive 25% off their 2021 registration fee. For those unable to attend the in-person registration meeting, please visit bridgeportlittleleague.org for more information about Bridgeport Little League, as well as the online registration portal. And finally, Bridgeport Little League understands that the pandemic's ongoing economic impact is still being felt by many Bridgeport residents. To that end, Bridgeport Little League wants parents to know that if there's any interest in registering for the league, but there are problems with personal finance, they are always willing to work with parents, and no child will ever be turned away from Bridgeport Little League due to income. So thank you for that. Are there any other announcements? Very well. Seeing none, we can proceed to public comment. And President Schenk, I just checked the inbox again. There are no new public comments for tonight's meeting. So if there are no other matters that need to be addressed, a Borough Council could certainly consider a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Heil and second from Ms. Nolan. Folks out there, it's 7:45. Thank you for your attention. And again, if you're watching this, just please know that this council looks forward to seeing you back in Borough Hall as soon as it is safe. Please follow all of the guidance from the assorted health departments out there. We want to get through this as fast as we can. There is light at the end of the tunnel, as Chief Beretta said, and as you're seeing out there in the news right now, we are on the glide path. So behave, follow the rules, and we will see everybody as soon as it is safe. 7:46, meeting is adjourned. Everybody, have a great night.
Take care.
Good
Take care. Bye-bye.
night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Right.